Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The honored guests on the podium here, my colleague, Mr. Bhattacharya, all the distinguished audience here. It's indeed a pleasure for me to be here on a subject as important as the subject of the e-governance and also the subject regarding the public safety, security, and also the disaster management. As a matter of fact, it is the last part, the disaster management, which occupies our minds and hearts day in and day out. And last 5 years, we have really looked at it from each and every angle. And one area which we want to really start working on is the aspect of the ICT and the importance of the ICT in the subject of the disaster management. We have in the process of the disaster management, and that's what I'd like to talk to you, because I take this opportunity to inform you also what all is being done. In the course of the time that we've been there, we are looking at all these structural and systemic changes rather than linear and incremental movements, because that kind of an arrangement does not stay for long and it does not provide permanence to the system. And for that reason, one of the very basic things we have started on are the issuance of the National Policy on Disaster Management, which has already been approved by the Government of India and released by the Prime Minister on 18th of January. And followed or preceding that have been a number of guidelines, 14 of them, which have been issued on the various disaster-related subjects and the various thematic subjects, issues, aspects. Which are the ones which are to guide the people in formulation of their plans, that is the states and the ministries, and then the entire process has to be drawn from there, because out of those plans which were to be drawn by the ministries and the states, certain measures are to emerge. That measures are the ones which are to be incorporated in the management of disasters in the country. And the measures are both structural and non-structural. And as far as the Planning Commission and the Finance Ministry and the Government of India are concerned, they have agreed to support that with the financial effort. So what has happened today, to put it very, very briefly, is that the theme and the essence and the core of mainstreaming of disaster management into developmental process or into the system of governance has been accepted by the Government of India as the basic key theme. And for that reason, the SFC memos, check memos, and the CNE check memos, and also that PIB for the private industry, those all memos have been revised to make sure that any new project which comes up over 10 crores of rupees has a disaster resilience audit inbuilt into it, just like the environmental audit. And without that, the project cannot go through. Now, that has become mandatory as far as the center is concerned. We have also written to the state governments, I have written to all the chief ministers, requesting them to also make sure that in their own states, all the governmental projects to start with at least are bound by this particular clause. And I'm glad to inform you all that most of the chief ministers have written back to say that they will like to take it up very seriously, and they will starting the process on that. So what will happen is that today we have out of around 23 crore structural buildings which we have of various types, a bulk of them will be whatever shape you all understand what they would be in. But at least in the future, the new habitat which comes up of any kind will be over a period of 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, should be disaster resilient. Another aspect which we have started looking at very seriously is the aspect of the education. And with the HRD ministry, it has been worked out that all types of education, be that in schools which was already there, in the CBSE syllabus now the states have introduced, in the higher education, the technical education, any type of education, be it the medical or the agriculture, the disaster management curriculum will be built into it. So I think another about years' time it should get introduced into the education system itself. The next aspect which is very, very important is the aspect of making sure that the governmental organization and agencies are all totally involved with it. For that reason, in our country, we have a system of a Panchayati Raj and the urban local bodies. These two have, at the ground level, a very important part to play. So with the Ministry of Rural Development, we have worked out a system now wherein the PRI Institute, that is the SIRDs and the NIRD, the disaster management curriculum will be inducted into that. So that process has commenced. The Secretary NDMA and the Secretary Rural Development Ministry are working on it and evolving a system by which it will get done. Similarly, we want to do it with the urban local bodies also. Another aspect which is very, very important is the aspect of, and where there is a very major weakness, is the aspect of the fire services. We had taken it up with the various authorities that we have in the Government of India, and we feel that our fire services are totally antiquated and very poor in state, and they leave aside that they should be an all-emergency management service. They cannot even provide the very basic facility. And the thought process which was worked out was the state governments, when they reach the planning commission for the approval of their plans, they will be asked by the planning commission to make sure that certain amount of money is devoted from their state plans into the fire services. But alongside that, we had also worked on the finance commission. And I am very glad to inform that finance commission, after very elaborate discussions with them and a great amount of persuasion, saw the light of the logic and have now in their own report introduced the subject of fire service as a serious aspect for consideration and help. And they have now made it compulsory for the urban local bodies to make sure that all cities above 1 million population will improve their fire services. And for that, the money which has been given to the urban local bodies, that's around for 87,000 crores, that is for all kinds of things. One of the subjects which is very important, where they've made it mandatory, where they'll work on and then do it in the, publish it in their gazette notification as a matter of compliance, because that is another weak area in the country, that the fire services are being improved. And we in the NDMA are now working out the various models for cities of 1 million, 5 million and above as to what the fire services should be like. So these are some of the aspects which we have worked out. One very important aspect which I think Mr. Bhattacharya sometime during this conference, I do not know the time schedule, is working on, and we are glad to have him with us because he is one man who has brought the science and technology into the NDMA. And it is no good doing all these things if we have to still do it in the manner which we would have done in year 1900 or 1850 or 1900 in the beginning. It's now the entire effort of disaster management is going to be scientifically and technologically backed. And for that, all kinds of subjects like the GIS platform, the cartography, the probabilistic systemic hazard analysis, that the the modeling of for the cyclones, and all kinds of, and the grading of the various types of districts and the kind of disasters they are afflicted by. All that process has begun, and the work on that is all commenced together. And as a matter of fact, why we want to rush away from here, because today we are discussing 3 of these subjects today, and those normal SFCs and other things in the country, which is part of the governmental system, has to be gone through. The 3 subjects which will be decided today on the GIS and the modeling, and also the dosimeters, which are for the radiation alert within the cities above how many? 2 million population? 2 million population we are working on. So these are some of the initiatives I thought I'll mention to you, but the subject which I started with, that we want to bring the ICT in a very serious manner into the subject of the disaster management. This is one area we have not started the work on that, and we will now commence the work on that. Bits and pieces we have picked up, but a total application of ICT into that we will like to work on. And that's why while we were sitting on the table, I murmured to Mr. Narayan that sometime I'll request him to come over to the NDMA, and we'll be very grateful to him for that, and sit down and have a chat with him on this subject in detail as to what would be his advice in this particular direction. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. These are all the initiatives in the country in various forms. The education, Professor Kaur mentioned what all has started. As a matter of fact, education is very important, madam, because that's where the young minds are trained, and they are the ones who are really the guiding lights, and they are also the persuasive element of the society who persuade their parents and the others in the society to be in the right direction. So, I think overall, it's a sapling of disaster management in the country which has been planted now. It has started growing up, is firmly rooted now into the ground, and another 5 to 10 years' time, we should be looking up, and we need not worry on this. And one aspect I forgot about mentioning is as building a specialized response in the country. A specialized response, we have created a disaster response force of 8 battalions, which will be raised to 10, so about a strength of about 13 to 15,000 personnel, who are trained both for the natural disasters and also for the CBRN types of disasters, as the chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. Similarly, now the Finance Commission route which we had taken, they have also allotted 525 crore rupees to all the states for building up their capacity and training their state disaster response forces and equipping them. So all that money is now also being given to the states. So there's no reason as to why the states should not be able to train, and that has also been mentioned in the national policy. So very, very briefly, in a rushed manner, I have tried to give to you what we are trying to do and how we want to pick up the new threads to make sure that this system improves as the time goes by. Well, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity and inviting me over here. I am grateful to you. Thank you.